So here is a nice sentence. Some really good players. This is basically a sentence you get kicked from most of the time. All four positions on each side are really top players, can play against anyone. Here we have air, we have Berg versus DCCC. So really a classic ASF, the 7-Eleven Airlines against DCCC, who really came to sentence maybe last 6 months. But I was a great player before that. In the middle we have VIP versus Dim against Dim. Again, Dim is at some point probably the best mid player, but VIP has been getting much better lately. And he's got Seraphim versus UEF. And a Hawk versus Flying, the very good naval players, and Flying is great from the beach. We have Sith from Rock against Powerhouse, also a great naval battle. So hopefully we see some nice strats, and haven't really watched this game yet, but I expect it to be pretty good. So let's see what VIP does. He goes with the Max 3P gens and Factory, so quite heavy on the power. And then to contrast that with Dim, he looks like this is the Tag Seton is a recent build. It's not really his build, but this is the aggressive build where he just goes with a single factory. And you can see these. This is also different from what Tag Seton does. Dim actually got a bunch of mech marines, but they ran into a bunch of tanks here. He's trying to micro himself out of this, but really tanks are better than mech marines, and it's 4 losses versus 0 losses in that competition. But they weren't able to get this NG, which is pretty bad, but now Dim cleans up. And you can see how much earlier Dim's ACU is in the middle than VIP. You can see how Dim is basically getting all the mass from underneath VIP's now, so that VIP is now able to extract. You can see the future plans for these two players. See, in terms of taking islands, 4 minutes, Hawk's got his island, doesn't look like he's going to be opposed at all. And Sith is getting ready to take her island, doesn't look like much opposition for Powerhouse. And it's nice to see from VIP, he's got 2 tanks here, really pushed ahead, looking for engineers that are trying to sneak in on this action and this mass. And again, Dim is ahead. Let's check out how much mass he's got. He's got 7.5. VIP's only got 6. So he's got about a 1.5k advantage in terms of mass extraction. But he doesn't, well, he's got an army coming into it. Looks like VIP does have quite a few more units ready to fight. And now it's actually could be very dangerous for Dim because he is all alone against a pretty nice force. But he will be able to dance his way out of this one. Now he got into the water. 1.5k health left. Now VIP can choose to push with his ACU if he wants to. Probably definitely get all this mass that was just created. 8 kills for Dim and just 1 for VIP at this point. Nice to have a sub on this side. A nice early sub from Power Towers, looking if Dim would have jumped into this ocean. See a nice bomber from Flying. Search for something. Nope. He's probably got a plan for this. Some early T1 fighting, which looks like Hawk is going to win. No fighting over these islands. Now we got a bomber coming in from Flying. He's going to bomb. Yep, he's going right after these engines, which are not protected. It's nice to see that Hawk was fighting over there with his T1 Air. And this is great. They just avoided that bomb. I only got 1 bomb. So great micro from these players. That's probably why they're so good. Usually don't see NGs dodging bombs like that, but that was great. We see Dim using, actually, well, he was regenerating his ACU for a while, losing a lot of power. Looks like he's got T2 engineering. And VIP looks like he's got gun on his ACU. Now VIP is going to most likely push. He left his force behind. Just going to go with ACU, but that could be dangerous. He has got 7k health. With this force could cause quite a bit of damage against a single ACU. But now he's going to start retreating. He's dancing. And have his force come in for the rescue. Doesn't look like Dim is concentrating fire on this ACU. If he did, most likely it would have died. and he went down to 800 health. So a chance for Dim, probably a small mistake for VIP leaving his ACU exposed like that. He could have probably got this, but Dim now has some T2 PD, which will prevent any further aggression from VIP. Of course, this is stationary. Dim is showing he's not going to push against VIP. Now, this is really cool right here. Berg is actually flying with the ACU, most likely T3. He's got his T3 air, yeah, so now we see in support of him we have a bunch of T1 air coming up, and it looks like Hawk is going to be the victim of an ACU drop, which will be very interesting to see. Let's see what it looks like from this direction. See Berg coming in. Actually, there's a bunch of air right here that Berg manages to avoid. Now they finally see him. This is not where you want to scout. Now Berg drops off. Seems like it was pretty close. Now he's going to start building T1 PD, and he's got T3 engineering. Yes, and these will build PDs much faster than what he can do here. It's basically 18 T1 NGs that he's got, and only a few here for Hawk, who's only T1 engineering, is an ACU. And now some shield, and this is almost going to be, this could be game over for Hawk if he doesn't run away fast enough. A great drop, a successful drop that should not have happened if Hawk had any kind of scouting, and he had plenty of T1 air to kill this drop, but he didn't. It's a great play for Berg, basically taking Hawk out of the game. This will allow Flying to really capitalize with his Navy. But look what's happening in the other ocean. It's pretty methodical. Both players, UEF, are just going to build up, it looks like. Oh, but Sith is being very aggressive with the T1 air, basically throwing it at DCCC. Probably just to annoy him so he's not paying attention. Now I see Hawk here. And Berg is moving up pretty quick. He's abandoning his first base and building a new one. Most likely because this one's going to be in range of this T2 Navy, so he wants to kind of get behind this hill here. And now he might be in range of this ACU, but it doesn't look like he's hitting it. He's hitting the NGs. He should be hitting the ACU, which is upgrading, which can't move. But it's almost done. So very close. Yeah, he's basically shooting the wrong unit. Hawk could have died right there, but you can't always have perfect recon. This is further than Berg can probably see. So it's been a pretty good game so far. It's nice to see that Berg used a great move here. Of course, he did sacrifice ASF to a certain degree, upgrading his ACU so early. And we can see that ACU is controlled at this point by DCCC. Of course, they have air, but they're missing one of their bases. So it's a hard question, which would you rather have, a base or air? But great execution from Berg again. See what's happening here in the middle. See VIP is walking through, protected by Powerhouse Navy. He might get a tactical missile launcher on this ACU and start hitting both Sith and Dim. That'd be a nice move. Yeah, and if this game goes on too long, I'll probably start skipping parts because I don't want to upload a very long video. See, even though Hawk is missing most of his base, he's still trying to produce a Navy. You can see a naval encounter here, which actually Hawk is going to win. He does have air advantage here, and a whole bunch of T2 bombers are going to really help. But even with those, without those T2 bombers, it probably been alright for Hawk. He has quite a bit of destroyers here, and he still has this island which is producing he's got a bunch of T2 mexes on it. Now we see an early fight between UEF and UEF, so most likely neither team is going to win this one. It looks pretty even, but we got to see how much this early air advantage for this right team here is going to count. And actually it looks like Flying is retreating, but he may have almost won that battle. Of course, it's still some destroyers here. So Flying, realizing he probably won't be able to win, just decided to recover. If we look at what Berg is doing, this just looks great. He's got his base, got a bunch of shield, he's producing build power, and he's thinking about a GC, but then he cancelled it. So, oh yeah, and he's got a missile launcher. This is great. So now he is, yeah, you can see those missiles are going to be hitting the mass extractors of DCCC. You could probably hit VIP from here, hit the rest of these. So really quite a few bases are at his mercy at this point. And now we see these ships coming in. They might not be able to reach all the way to Berg. It's a pretty nice positioning, but these shields right here will die. And now we're going to see a first assault on Berg's makeshift base here. A whole bunch of T1 already. So a lot of hit power, not a lot of health. And Berg is going to build T1 PD, which is exactly what you should do. And it's nice to see a T3 anti-air. Should be simultaneously getting bombed here. But not many bombs actually coming. It looks like this was a failed bombing run. These bombers just went past. Yeah, it's gonna be close, but it looks like Berg will be able to hold off. Now you can see these bombers dropping off some bombs, causing damage. But it would have been nice if that first bombing run would have actually been successful. Now Berg can recover. And these ships are, well, this is Cybern. They have pretty nice long range. Really taking a piece of this base off. Yeah, and it looks like VIP does have the missile launcher, and he already shot it a few times. Got more kills now. So the Berg's team really need to figure out what they want to do. They have sort of an advantage, especially flying. He should be able to just push over here, provide some nice anti-air for Berg. And Berg definitely has less ASF at this point, but no reason you can't recover. If both flying and Berg make ASF, they should be able to overtake DCC at some point. Now Berg is going to shift his base even further away from the Navy. Might as well. Hawk's just making missile defense. Can't really do much with no base. And now we're going to see a second assault by flying. See DCCC's base. Looks like he's upgrading his ACU. It looks like probably to T3. And really, 2EF armies, it takes a whole bunch to really do anything. It'll be a nice stalemate on this island, just slowing the game down. VIP, just making economy, not doing too much. Dim, also just hanging out. It's surprising that Dim has actually been pretty quiet in this game, really almost as if he's not there for a while, which is kind of sad because you expect from him pretty good things, and he's got nice naval support on both sides. This guy UAF maybe get a fat boy or something. And nice, you can see here the bubbles from A on these shields. Really pretty overpowering in this game. If you allow a player to spam these and you don't have them, it's kind of trouble for you. So now you see these destroyers moving out of the way. Curious where they're going, but they're really outgunned here against this force. Berg is going to, he's just making more defense, T2 point defense. Yeah, that should protect him from most attacks. But eventually this team could just get together and make a Monkey Lord. Although this amount of PD might kill a Monkey Lord, but a chicken would be nice. Now we see DCC actually getting closer. See where he goes. He could start his own base just like that one, and have a nice T2 PD fight off for it. Of course, if flying's in the Navy is close here, it can provide nice support, and he's got AN. If he gets one of those AN